We've all been there. You look at other people's lives and wish it was you. Or you feel like you should be further along because of your age or experience or some other variable relative to what others are doing. Or you carefully control your every step through how you think other people perceive you. When filtering how you exist in your everyday life through the lens of what others have or do or live, guess what? You will never be enough for their standards. And so you have to be okay with being enough for yourself. Today, we're throwing comparison out the window and giving ourselves permission to not be someone else's idea of what's best, but to be the best version of us. I'm not sure when it happened, definitely much later than I intended it to, but I finally decided to free myself of the need to live up to what I think other people think I should be, how I should look, or dress, or act, or what I should have, or how I should respond in situations. It's so exhausting. Endless lists of ways that I can compare who I am, where I am, how I look, how I move my life, while meeting aggressive goals and generally just trying to measure some unreachable standard. Because I realized that while in some people's eyes I may be goals, to others, and maybe to most, I will never be good enough. But I don't need to be good enough for them. I just need to be good enough for me. The journey of being enough for you is exactly that, a journey, because it does require a few actions and mindset shifts filled with thoughts and behaviors to learn, relearn, and unlearn to truly get out of the comparison trap. The first one is a tough one. Work on your own stuff. Constantly be improving yourself and getting to the place that you want to be. Do you want to lose weight? Stop sitting in front of the TV or scrolling TikTok and start moving your body. Do you want a different or a better job? Refresh your resume or figure out what additional education you need. Do you want to not be depressed and anxious? Go to therapy, see a counselor, talk to your friends, get some help. When you're focused on improving you, you don't have time to be stressing out about what others are thinking or doing. Stop finding reasons or excuses that your life is less than and start researching and doing the things that move you in the direction that you want to go. Good morning and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If this is our first time being introduced to one another, my name is Christy, and this is the start of my summer glow up series. The goal is to always have this lifestyle of just feeling like I am living my best life, ready to flourish. We have to realize that you don't know someone else's journey. When we find someone who's the object of our comparison, it's easy to think that all that they've experienced are the joys of life handed to them on a silver platter. But so often, you don't see the behind the scenes of what others are going through or have been through. On one hand, you don't know all of the work that's gone into getting them where they are. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrificed fun in relationships, the discipline that they may have exercised. And then on the other hand, we also don't see the negative things that people are holding inside. The pretty girl who maybe suffered abuse, the super confident person who secretly wonders if others can see how much they're completely faking it. The high achiever made to believe that if they aren't the best, they're worthless. While not every story is as extreme, everyone has a story or something in their lives that we would never want to go through. Stop trying to impress others. If you're doing something to impress other people, you will constantly be in that cycle and constantly have to do more. Stop trying to get noticed by that man that isn't interested. Stop buying things that you think will make other people be jealous of you. Stop going to places that you don't want to go and doing things that you don't want to do because you're afraid of what others will think of you. Just stop it. That's it. And when you stop, go back to step one and work on yourself. Romanticize your life. I love this because it forces us to actually see our lives and be grateful for all of the seemingly little things. That perfect cup of coffee you drank while getting dressed, a functioning body that allows you to do things at will, people who know your ugly parts and still love you regardless, having peace of mind, being able to pay all of your bills. There is always something to be grateful for if you're looking for it. For example, as someone trying to grow on YouTube, of course I want to see huge leaps in numbers. That's normal. But I recognize that numbers are built from individuals. So I celebrate every single solitary new subscriber because it's pretty freaking cool that someone I don't know saw me and enjoyed something that I put out in the world. All right, so I have been working for the past little bit, past few hours, and I'm getting a little bit restless, a little bit stir crazy, and I haven't gotten my walk in yet, so I'm gonna go do that. It's looking really nice outside. So yeah, I'm gonna go get in my walk for the day. You see, we have some clothes in the background that we need to iron. We need to fold some clothes. We've been washing clothes all day, so gotta do that too. But right now, it's time for a walk. Get outside, get that sun, get those rays, and make sure I spray on my my sunscreen. Stop looking for ways to compare yourself. If you find that you're constantly looking at other people thinking negatively about you, telling yourself that you're not as smart, pretty, in shape, you don't have as much money, you don't this, that, or the other, relative to someone else you see as having it together, you have got to stop that. It is possible to look at people and appreciate the good that you see in them without it being about comparison. You can look at someone and appreciate what they have or the things that they've accomplished and view their lives as an example of what's possible. Not to be just like them, but to assess what you value, where you want to be, where you can put in extra effort and work toward it. All right, so we just got back and that walk felt so good. It was so nice and so pretty outside. It was a little bit windy too, which made it a little bit colder, but that's okay. So about to go get cleaned up, but I'm gonna have a protein bar first. I have recently discovered these. I don't know for why so long I didn't want to try them. Actually, I do know why, because it's 220 calories for 13 grams of protein. But I've been in the mood to try different protein bars, and I feel like if I'm gonna have something that tastes like a dessert, it might as well have protein in it. But yeah, these are so yummy. These actually taste like a Thin Mint. This is the Power Crunch. I have it upside down. This is the Power Crunch chocolate mint, and it tastes basically just like a Thin Mint if a Thin Mint were a wafer. So good. Taking a long look in the proverbial mirror to see everything that you are and aren't should not be a jumping off point to beat yourself up for all the parts of you that don't measure up. However, it's a moment to be honest about where you currently are. As I mentioned before, you have to work on your own stuff, but you don't know what to work on without a real look into what's currently happening. We are all freshened up and hair washed and ready to make dinner. If you hear some, I keep hearing it. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can hear it, that's like our wine cooler in the background, and it goes it's like Darth Vader in the background. But anyway, that's what that is. I think we're often scared of what we might find if we dig deeper, scared to get out of our comfort zones, and it leads us to hide behind comparison as a way to either not deal with our issues or give us excuses for why we aren't where we want to be. But once we deal with it, it helps us figure out where we want to go next. This last one is going to sound very different, but outside of working on yourself is probably the most important one. Work on your relationship with God. If you are the center of your own world and everything starts and ends with you, you'll constantly realize where you're falling short and be so linear focused on the right now. By pouring into my faith, pouring into growing closer to God, knowing how He sees me and viewing myself from His lens, I know that despite all the things that are imperfect, I am beautifully and wonderfully made. I know that my future is secure and the plans He has for me are perfect. Where He leads me will always be His best for me, even if I have to go through things that I wouldn't particularly choose. I see His hand woven throughout every situation, making something beautiful out of it. Instead of letting culture or society or comparison define me, I can find my worth in the value that He places on me. I said it before and I'll say it again. You have to be enough for yourself because you will never be enough for others. The real flex isn't in being like everybody else or even in being like somebody else. It isn't in having a life where others look at you and say, ooh, look at her, look at that girl. No, the real flex is in owning who you are and realizing that whether they see it or not, you bring something unique and special that others don't have. And here's the funny thing. You never know who's comparing themselves to you.